Everybody, we're here for episode 2, calamity 2 of our dinner cooking thing.
We'll call it a show.
Yeah, we have our special
your guest star.
Yes, our sous chef here tonight with us. Sebastian, why don't you?
I'm Sebastian, the artist formerly known as Riley. Apparently some people even from last live stream. So hi, I'm this one's child. I'm not sure if I inherited his cooking abilities. I guess we'll discover that through our adventure here together.
There we are.
We'll about do it.
And thanks to our camera person, Heather Krause, who is in the
currently having
background, orchestrating things in cool ways.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes. A reminder to everybody, to wash hands before you start doing things and such. And make sure to,
lather.
Yes. And then there's a towel over somewhere.
Towels are for nerds.
Anyway, so we had this shrimp that we had thawed that we decided to do something with. That's a little bit. It's often something we do for brunch, and then we stick some fried egg or something on top of it. And instead, we're going to be doing it as kind of a dinner thing. So we'll probably skip the egg deal. And we're going to make some corn muffins, too, that are, a nice kind of herby corn muffin-y thing. So.
It'll be nice. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be grand.
All right, so, let's get started. I guess what we'll do first is talk a little bit about the corn muffin thing, and we'll get that started. So, I guess I'm going to move that. Here, go ahead. All this can be yours.
Yes, this is my domain now.
So, Alexa, turn it down.
That's a stick of butter melted.
Yeah. So the thing about corn muffins, or really any sort of muffin-y thing, is we tend to usually mix all the wet stuff together in one bowl, the dry stuff together in a different bowl. That's it. You want to do the dry, and I'll mix these. Yeah,
sounds good.
There you go. So it's the whole point of muffins is they're supposed to be tender. And usually when you have flour and you put it with water and do stuff with it, it has a couple of precursor proteins that get changed into gluten, which is a big stretchy thing that will trap gases and things. And so you want it to get a nice rise on bread, but 1.5 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon.
That's what I was talking
about. Teaspoon.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's the baking powder. Yeah. So anyway, that's not like in bread it's good, right? Because you want it to be kind of have a nice chew to it and everything else. Muffins aren't that, so we want to do the least amount of mixing together as possible. Just kind of get it vaguely together and then get it.
It's like brownies.
Off into the pan. Yeah, brownies are the same way, all kind of things. So we're gonna mix the wet stuff right now. We nuke a stick of butter just to melt it. This is a mixture of there's a recipe that has sour cream and whole milk, and instead we had buttermilk, and so I put a little bit of cream to kind of just make up the fat a little bit. So we're gonna add that, and then 2 eggs. And then, in the meantime, Sebastian is putting some, it's like a cup. Yeah. It takes about 2 cups of flour, a cup of cornmeal, and then, a little bit of baking powder, soda, etc.
And the salt.
Yes.
A
yeah.
dash.
It's best not to, crack any shells into the thing, but, we're just going to go
But sometimes you just got it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just be like that.
But that's why we have an awesome sink that we can
flour?
turn off with our elbows. That's the cornmeal. I'll get the flour.
Tight. Hi guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Corn.
Yes.
Do you have a comment? Do you have a comment?
A comment?
Corn.
Yeah. Sorry. Corn.
You're fine.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We were gonna do a starch with this. But corn is basically a starch, right? I mean, sorry and all, but that is what it is.
That's just correct.
So that's why we decided to do the corn muffins. I mean, it's got flour too and everything. It's a bread, but we're thinking of doing some kind of corn as a part of the dish or whatever, but we decided not to. Go ahead, 2 cups that. And so it is generally good. Yeah.
Get an action shot here.
Yeah.
So here's some folks that are watching. We have Todd Blanchard and Stuart Palermo.
Oh, cool.
Emma Christensen, Tony Coffey.
Yeah.
I don't know some of these folks.
Yeah.
Jessica Holden, and then Richard Carroll, Dick Carroll, Ronald Wetzel.
This is our
Cool. Yeah. So we're gonna mix this a little bit just to kind of, they often call for flour to be sifted, but whatever. A sifter takes up that much space in the counter, so it's probably in the basement someplace.
I have none of the energy for a sifter.
Well, yeah. So that's good enough there.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Plus, it gives you the opportunity to clean yet another thing full of small tines and terribleness.
Yeah, we want to really hurt.
The salt went in too?
The salt went in, yes.
Okay.
I put a dash, a sprinkle of this.
It's best to not measure a half a teaspoon of salt.
All right.
And you got both the baking
Yeah,
powder and the salt. All right.
we're vibing, audience.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good thing to everybody who doesn't know what the hell vibing means.
Right, yeah, vibing is just kind of a general use term. It's if you're doing literally anything, you can just say, I'm vibing.
All right, so dry into the wet. We'll just dump that into that.
Stand back.
Yes. And so, kind of like what folding is, it's
Oh yeah, let's see.
it's just sort of, gently doing stuff in a way that does not spill it out while you're trying to show everybody, but just sort of mixes it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know what's so much for me. So
It was fine on the counter.
Okay.
That's some good corn.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of it's okay for it to be lumpy. Like there's no expectation it's smooth or that it's really anything.
There's no expectations here.
Yeah. Yes. Way before it starts to look nice is when you should be done. Just so it's. You
don't want to over.
Just so it ends up. Yeah. So we're gonna call this done.
Whoa.
And then we're going to start. We're gonna throw it into the something.
No, it was the camera. I was just making
All right.
everybody sick.
All right. Cool. So we're gonna set this here, and we'll go get the. You want to grab the little tins there?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna just put this bowl on top of the flour.
Cool. All right.
Because I know what I'm doing.
So the oven's at 400
degrees.
There it is. Yeah. So I like to use a little disher ice cream scoop kind of thing to portion stuff because it's a lot easier,
than hand.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's a lot easier than hoping that you can pour it or some other thing. So a little bit over is fine.
Okay.
Here's a weird little tip, and it's there's this usually a little number printed on the handle, you can see that it's 20. It's the number of level that in a quart. So it's if you have one with 16 and there's 32 ounces in a quart, there's 2 ounces in that, and maybe that will help you get off a desert island one day. I don't know, but
unfortunately I'm incapable of doing math. So
but it's usually nice to figure out how many cookies you were in your batch and you're gonna make. Do you want to put those in with the disher?
So while he's doing some scooping, Jennifer Seiler is asking, "What are we making?" So let's go through that once again.
Yes. So it's in the title of the thing. There's a dish that is made at this place called Elizabeth's, which is the best brunch in all of New Orleans, called Cajun Bubble and Squeak, which is it's like cabbage and potatoes and whatever. They put shrimp in it. And so I stole that. I took the potatoes out of it, and then we've kind of adapted it over time. So we often will do that as a breakfasty thing, like a brunch thing. And we'll put fried eggs or something on top. So we're doing that minus the eggs, I think. And then we're also making some corn muffins. Savory corn muffins. We pulled the sugar out of the recipe with the corn muffin because it was supposed to be with the whatever thing. So
put sugar in there.
Yeah. So while he's dishing, let's talk a little bit about some stuff over here. Yeah, sorry. So we're using Brussels sprouts. Normally I do this with cabbage, like the whole bubble and squeaky thing. But we didn't have cabbage to use, so we had a bunch of Brussels sprouts hanging around, so we're gonna do that. I went and shredded. I didn't just want to awkwardly cause a terrible noise for like 10 minutes, doing batches of this stuff. So most of them I shredded before, but I'll do the last few. They're usually pretty easy to, if you get one, you just like cut the bottom part just because it was like dirt, and sometimes there's like like a whole big part of the stalk or whatever on it. So it's if there's any leaves that are icky, then you can just take them off or what have you. And then we just put the food proc on the thinnest setting that it has, and shred away. Let's see.
And that's all about it.
Yeah.
And voila, your kitchen smells like raw Brussels sprouts.
I know, yeah. If only we could, really let you be with us here, then you would be enjoying that along with us as well. But you can see it's kind of just they're pretty finely shredded. You're still going to have like this part in because the center of it's whole, so it's it's nice that it's kind of thin. And so yeah, we're gonna deal with that in just a second.
And Sebastian's got
All but
most
one.
of the muffin tin full over here.
I move about as efficiently as normal. So.
Yeah. So
This is what school is like for me.
yes, here, let me grab this from you. The other thing I kind of hate like the internet's all judgy, like all these articles start with like no, this isn't actually like this, blah 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 blah, and I generally hate that, except for the part where like if I got one of those ever, it would be like, no, cutting the onions isn't that hard actually. There's like all these cook people. I even like you go to a class, there's like actual chefs who like tell you to do all kinds of things that are kind of crazy. But I mean, an onion, right? It's like you got these layers. There's like little circly things inside there. So what I usually do is actually like pointing at it and stuff. What I usually do to cut onions is like you just start out like if you're making strips, you kind of just go around, like. Kind of towards the center, and then like here I'm kind of using my thumb a little bit to balance the knife part here, and then when you're done, you just go cut the back off, and then like all of your stuff kind of you just have a whole bunch of nice little strips, and if you're gonna dice it, you just go and then chop it that way, and so it's not like I don't know. Of all of the people who cut onions, even when showing people how to cut onions, I only see this like 1 time in 10. So I don't know why, because it's like very easy. It's a lot easier than all the other different ways, and it's you're less likely to cut part of your hand off. So that's a bonus. So if you're ever dealing with onion, these will one day be like neat little scallions and things, but right now they're kind of just making stuff bitter. Same thing with garlic. If you ever see little green parts of that, it's good to take them out of your stuff before you start cooking. It'll just be. It's not like the flavor of raw onion is so graceful that it's a little tiny bit will make it weird, but it's just easier to not. So we're gonna start with a little bit of oil. This stuff goes at fairly low temp most of the time, so we're fine with olive oil, and it's full of all kind of good stuff for you. So I'll start it right at high heat just because I didn't think about starting warming it earlier, but we'll drop it down pretty low once it starts. Oh, hey Mom, are you done on these and need the next pan?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm vibing.
Yes.
Okay, and apparently
right.
we didn't get the stuff out of the cupboard.
We're vibing.
Behind all that stuff, in the back is a brown tray that has the papers that you need.
All right,
Yeah.
I can get it from here, Deb. Do you want to go
Yeah.
on here?
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll. All right. This the other thing. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
So, yeah, I guess we'll do the other part of the onion too real quick. And here, I'll grab the green stuff out before we start this time. So, we've also got some thyme that we got from the garden. Thyme's one of those things, I learned about it, I think, after I left Louisiana. You don't hear about it much. You know, you don't see it as like a standard Cajun herb, but it works really well with, like, you know, a lot of the flavors in a lot of Louisiana dishes. And so I just kind of pretend it is. And I've actually talked to some people since then who are like, yeah, I put thyme in all kinds of stuff. So, I don't know. I guess it's kind of mixed out there, but yeah, it's just a nice, good green flavor that's not as strong as oregano is. All right, we hear the stuff sizzling now, so we're going to drop it down.
You don't want to burn your onions because that's a bad experience for everyone involved.
Yes.
We deactivated the smoke alarm.
Yeah, even Cajun Bubble and Squeak is not blackened. So
We did. We learned from last time about the smoke alarm, so.
yes.
So needn't worry.
The dinner bell, as Tracy calls it.
Yeah. So
that's how I know when to come up.
One thing we're going to put in for some flavor. So this is like, I think, Hempler's or whatever. It's an ongoing. Yeah, is it? Yeah, I think it's Hempler's, right? That we get. Yeah, it's like they're ends and pieces. So it's, you know, it's kind of all the weird bits that didn't go very well. And amusingly, it's actually usually more meaty than normal bacon is. And I had to go find pieces that had a decent amount of fat, just because I kind of wanted the fat to kind of come and render out a little bit. So we're going to put this in there. I'll just kind of dice it up and.
So here's some comments. Just want to make sure we get these in. So is that bacon next to those Brussels sprouts? So yes, it is, Donna.
Yes.
And then Tony Torzillo says, I'm making sous vide pork tenderloin with roasted peppers and a side of lemon risotto. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Yeah.
Why do you have to flex
Jennifer says, I like the way you cut your onion. Yeah, he's good at that. He's got like that knife technique where he actually doesn't lose any fingers, which is more than I can say for me.
I'm not even good at it yet, and I've been his kid for like 16 years or something.
And then Peter Sadi, is that how you say his name?
Yes, yeah.
Chris cuts onions like I do, haha. And then we've got about 16 people watching.
Right.
Anything we want to ask them?
Yeah, so I was actually going to say, like, it'd be neat if, if people out there are making cool stuff, it'd be, we'd love to see it. So, if you want to, like, post it in the, in, like, the video, in the comments of this thing or whatever when you're done, that'd be neat, because it's fun to,
It's fun to watch yummy things.
To see what everybody else is doing.
Yes, yeah, we certainly, yes. This wasn't like a, hey, let me teach everybody how to cook, because, actually most of the people on my friends list know how to cook pretty damn well. But, it's just like, hey, here's some stuff we're doing. So, we're going to save the herbs to go in till the end, because fresh herbs are usually, if you have dry stuff, it's good to put it in. But this just came from outside, except we washed it and stuff. Oh, I wanted to show everybody a neat trick for getting thyme leaves off of the sticks, except there isn't one. It's terrible. And so I'll at least show you the two crappy tricks that I have. If ever you end up with all the stuff on one little twig, you can kind of just usually do that and it gets them off, except not perfectly. If you have a nice sharp knife and kind of a light hand, you can also, much of the time, put a little bit of pressure and drag along, and you'll get, most of the leaves and as few sticks as possible. And if the little tiny bit, little tiny sticks that you get, sticks are just sort of like leaves that got old and lost hope. So, it's, I think you can figure that anything that scrapes off, as long as you're given a light hand, is going to kind of, get soft and be fine anyway.
It adds texture.
And so, then at the end, if there's big little chunks, you just go after and do what you would normally do if you were picking thyme off of a thing. I've got, I don't know if he's out there this time, but last time he posted, it was, he and I have picked through thyme stick things together, in a culinary class in Las Vegas at one point. So
so we've got some discussion going on about what's the beverage pairing, when do we pour the wine, and now there's some suggestions. Somebody says Blanton's. I don't know what that is. Is that wine or is that an inside joke?
It's not a very good inside joke if it's one, because I don't know what the hell that is.
Okay.
Or maybe it's super inside because I'm losing my mind.
And then I think Corinne had asked how many, like by weight, how many Brussels sprouts. It was just one of the small bags from Costco, Corinne. I mean, it's probably what, a couple pounds?
Yes, let me go to this bag that's sitting over here, not at all in the trash. And it was a 2-pound bag. So,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Good guess. Woo!
I'll set it right back where. Oh, let's just throw it away instead. Anyway.
Gawoon likes your Starbucks apron.
For no reason, I'm going to wash my hands again. And yeah. So. Are the muffins all done?
Yeah.
Oh, can you get them in the oven then?
Yeah.
They can go.
Did we get a timer set?
Well, I mean, once they go in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One's behind you, and then just on each side of the thing.
Where's one behind me?
Behind you.
We're graceful. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whoosh! Oh, and look at that pan.
Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
So this goes for it goes for about 10 minutes in the oven. We flip them.
That smells really good.
Yeah, spin it around, and then we do them for another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll kind of see how they're
Depending
doing.
on, our mood.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, we'll kind of see how these. Oh, you got it. All right, that's fine. Yeah, rock on.
So
We'll get
Corinne,
this out the way, and then we're also going to add our. Yeah, this is looking nice.
Corinne is asking, would a full cabbage be the substitute for Brussels sprouts? Corinne, I think the answer is probably by weight. Yeah.
Is
Just the whole cabbage?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, right. Because cabbage actually, for different sizes, it'll vary a lot because they're pretty dense.
But it comes down.
Yeah. Cabbage is usually, I mean, like, we usually do this with a cabbage, and I think that 2 pounds of this is going to be too much for this, and so what we'll probably end up doing is, we do fritters with this actually too. We'll
it also makes a nice salad.
It also makes a nice salad. We do salad with this. We don't just fry shit in oil all day. We do salad.
You're from Louisiana. That's okay.
But if you were to make a fritter out of it and stuff,
as a native Seattleite, I am disgusted.
Then it would be possible to fry that in oil and then put a poached egg on top, pour hollandaise on that, and you've got yourself a Brussels sprout fritter Benedict.
You have yourself a borderline carb.
You could even call it Brussels dict or something.
So here's the Heather's tip. Yeah. So this is one of those things, like, we end up with a lot of leftover cruciferousness in our house. We have these Brussels sprouts, sometimes we have cabbage, and then there's also this like kale Brussels sprout cabbage mix that you can get at Costco in a bag that's actually meant to be a salad, but we often stir fry that as well. So like any of those things you could use with this mix of stuff with the bacon and the onions, and it's sometimes a good way to use up something that you need to get out of the refrigerator because you're sautéing it anyway, if it's not in salad condition anymore. So one of the tips from the person who does the shopping and kind of manages the refrigerator is that you can use this to use things up.
I'm putting a tiny little bit of water in this. What we're about to do is cover this and just let it kind of go for a little bit.
So we want some steam to get in there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to, there's a lot of water up in all this stuff, but I'm getting it just a little bit of boost. Because, in fact, I'll give it a little bit more boost than that.
Even more of it.
Yeah. But just a tiny bit. That wasn't anywhere, that was like, whatever, a couple, maybe 2 ounces of water, if that.
We give our stuff performance-enhancing material. You
can kind of see already, like, it's starting to get a little bit, wilty and stuff.
Yeah,
so we're gonna, my awesome pot doesn't have an awesome lid because no one in like a restaurant ever uses a lid. They all like cut things out of whatever it's called. So my Rondo lid goes on that, and it becomes that.
Ain't that perfect?
So we're gonna put it at like 1 notch above low, and then I'll put it 2 notches above low, and we'll regret that later. So let's see. I think right now, let's gather some spices. So why don't you grab...
this is the spices zone.
We could just cheat and use the Tony's or like the Raging Red or some kind of thing, maybe just a scoosh of that.
All right. If you want to.
Yes.
Where am I throwing that?
So Corinne is asking if you can make sauerkraut with the shredded sprouts. I would think so, but I don't know. I've never made sauerkraut.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that's,
I think the flavor wouldn't change too much.
Yeah. It's all those, like, kind of, whatever.
Cabbage-like things.
Yes, right. Like those angry, Germanic vegetables or whatever that are, always...
They taste how the German language sounds.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would work fine. All of those things, they share common stuff, right? Like cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and a lot of those things are all kind of, of similar properties and things. All right, so we'll toss in the green onions at some point, and then and the thymes in a little bit too. We have this, and then we'll get some shrimps ready to go.
Why don't you show them what you're using? There, do a close up.
Oh right, yeah, this is
Region Red action.
It's not like they're sponsoring us or whatever, but yeah, like Tony Chachere's is like a standard kind of seasoning blend.
Hold it close so they can see.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So Tony Chachere's is like just a good basic, like, hey, make it taste kind of Creole or Cajun-ish thing. But this has got, I think, a better flavor. It's like a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit better, more rounded flavor to it and everything. So
where does it come from?
It's
yeah,
it's like so this is the school that I went to. Mom and Dad like sent me one of these one time, and then like ever since then they're like, we'll send you some Tonys. I'm like, nope, go to the one place that sells this on some place in campus someplace and get that because it's better than the Tony. Sorry to Tony Chachere's, it's just these guys.
It's very good.
And this is just some like, shenanigans that they probably, get someone to make for them and stick their logo on it. But it's,
But
anyway.
if we find the source of the shenanigans, we will be using that instead.
Exactly.
Might be easier to find.
Well, we've done our own little, like, mixes and stuff too in the past.
Like we had a coffee cacao spice blend.
Yeah.
Which was so good.
Yeah, not in this meal, but,
No, but just in the general. It was uncomfortably good. It hurt.
We have a few spice blends, and we can put the links up to those because it's it's not like we're selling them or anything. And even if we were, we'd still put the damn links up because
the Angry Germanic
open
Veg
source
was a hit.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jan and Heather and all the
exactly.
your
no, but they know it's right.
Taking it personally.
I'm French and
Right.
Irish.
So someone asked about wine, and then we asked someone else about wine.
Should we get wine?
This isn't
I can't have this.
So
easily conversational medium, but.
John Hendo says, your sous chef seems like the sort of guy who'd be good company on a walk around some volcanoes.
Hey!
Yeah.
Now wait a second.
How about that?
Yeah.
I can also
look, I
wine
take it
balls
back,
real
Germany.
fast.
We like your wines a good deal. We got this when we're actually, we went to visit Heather's brother Ruben in Germany. He was stationed there and spent some time and, hit the airport for the maximum allowed bottles of stuff. When
Deep
we came
fried
back.
turkey.
So, this was, and we had tasted this, I think, before too. So, they make a lot of awesome wines there. And so, like this Riesling is pretty, it's pretty dry. It's like got a little tiny bit of sweetness to it.
You Germans don't mess around.
I think this is.
Oh, that's no fun.
No,
I wanted to show
I
off
know.
my skills.
It's German efficiency.
I've been opening bottles of wine for a while.
Well, it's funny. You used to be able to make fun of wine that had a cap, but now like good wines have caps.
So I'm going to grab your
occasionally,
glass.
so. Yeah, sure. So this is I'm not sure if the authorities would say it's a lovely pairing or not, but like it's that Riesling is good at like cutting through a little bit of that kind of fat and and just a nice clear flavor, and it's a good. The flavor of it usually marries pretty well with like bacony stuff or whatever else. So, So that's the wine pairing for tonight, I think, and
that's
the floor pairing.
The floor wine pairing.
Cool. We're setting ourselves up well already. Cheers.
Chin chin.
Yeah. So let's. Alexa, what's the timer at? All right. Oh, hey, look, they're like popping up and stuff, so that's good. But I mean, we're not yet, but yeah. When it goes, we're
gonna switch them
all
around.
due haste.
We're gonna actually rotate them and then switch where they are in the oven just to maintain.
Corinne says her favorite wine opener has broken due to overuse during the quarantine. So, that whole screw top thing might come in handy there.
That is
Fair
pretty good,
enough.
yeah.
I would hire out my services, but quarantine, it takes me about 10 seconds per bottle.
That's true, yes.
Which he does not drink. He hands to the adults.
Wine's gross. I'm a teenager.
Yes.
Everything
totally.
tastes. All alcohol tastes like lighter fluid.
Yeah. Right. So we talked about the stuff. We did actually want to try to do a bread something-y thing. We have no idea how. Maybe it'll be one of those through the magic of television things, or whatever. Through the magic of the shit that we did all before everybody, signed on. Then here's one that's already ready. We can just see steam coming up, so that tells me that like we kicked it up a little hotter than I wanted it to, just to start driving some heat in. So we're gonna check on it. We'll see if the pan has.
Look at this. This is so. I know it's almost all Brussels sprout, but like even speaking as a picky eater, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like really the point of a lot of cooking is, the point of like really stylish cooking is to, land you a food TV show or something, but really the cooking that most of us do, the point of it is to like make your kid eat the damn vegetables, and sometimes your spouse or, other whatevers or yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
So like we definitely put more Brussels sprouts than in an ideal world one might want, compared to how many pieces of bacon or other tasty onions there are.
But when you mix it with said onion, bacon, and spices and water and cook it forever, you can't even really taste the Brussels sprout anymore.
Yeah, this is kind of more in that category of the stuff I talked about last time, where it's like, I fear that vegetable. Let me beat it into submission and and kind of bend its to my will.
Speaking of beating into submission, we're gonna move the cornbread around now.
Yes, yeah. Here, I'll help you grab a pan if you want.
Yep.
Okay. Thing, flip, back. You on the left, me on the right. Yes, that's awesome. They
Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know if people caught what they looked like or not. Yeah, don't do that. But they were, they look neat.
They've puffed up a little bit.
Yes.
Muffins are quick breads, which means that we expect them to rise some, but not a lot. We put in baking powder and baking soda, so you don't expect it to rise the same way like milk bread does.
Sebastian is a huge fan of
Milk bread.
Also
Milk bread.
the British,
the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that, it's like disastrously good. Imagine getting like all of the sarcasm of the UK into one room and then making them make croissants. Do I need to say any more? I feel like that kind of gets it. It's very interesting.
He knows all kinds of things about how baking works that even I didn't know. I was very impressed. So
Yeah,
I haven't seen that show yet.
Miscellaneous
Telling
knowledge
us to
comes
watch
in
it.
handy.
So-
What can I do to help?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here we have some shrimp, a bag
Yes,
from.
here we have some shrimp. We're far from the Gulf, so we often get shrimp. When we can, it's usually like we can go to a little seafood place and get some whatever.
Hike down
But
the pike place.
in this time of limiting trips out into the world and things, we're going with the
We've decided Kirkland will
Costco
do it.
2-pound shrimp bag. These are nice because they have just the tail on, but not like the whole. They're not in the easy peel
The
kind.
legs.
So they're nice because if you're trying to do something here on Facebook, whatever, then you can just dump them in and go, and then as you eat, you can just take the little tails out. Usually, we would get the other kind that are the easy peel, and then peel them out, and then save them in the carcass drawer in the freezer, along with other things, and occasionally make stock out of them. I think I was made fun of for the carcass drawer last time. I'm not sure.
Well, if he
Maybe
wasn't,
we could have just shocked and stunned all the viewers.
well, if he
It's-
wasn't,
it's
I'm
just
going to
a-
make fun of him because carcass drawer.
It's just a general family,
This is what New Orleans does to you.
Well,
But
we
makes
saved.
for good food.
It does make for good food if a
I saved
horrified
the
child.
bones and tails and things and whatever in
Really?
different little bags.
Really,
and they're
that's-
in this whatever.
That's
and
more
then-
respectful than if you don't do that.
Yeah,
So.
Yes, right. Use all parts, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
So yes, and then every once in a while we make stock, and then that goes in the freezer,
Then
and then
the bladder into a backpack.
And when we throw down a pot of gumbo, it's fantastic. Or even just like put it in a whatever, right? When we do risotto, right? That's like a really good use. for a little bit
Etouffee,
of
that's
stock.
my favorite.
Or etouffee, yeah.
Okay, so
Sans risotto.
Corinne is asking the origin for Bubble and Squeak name. Does anybody know that? Anybody who's watching know the origin of Bubble and Squeak? Mom, you might know that one.
I'm not entirely sure.
Or does she know? And she was just seeing if we knew because you got us.
Like every fifth grader.
Or maybe
who doesn't
Yun, do you know?
It's-
Yun might know
yeah.
something like that.
Bubble and
Yeah.
squeak.
I mean, it's a British thing, but I don't know where it
See, we need Colm and Linda. Where are Colm and Linda?
Yes.
They should be
Yeah,
here.
They're not British.
Yeah, they
Colm
do
would
it.
should
know.
not call them that.
Yeah, there it's like potatoes, cabbage. Usually it's like using up leftover whatever from the meal, right? So they, throw little meat end bits in it and other things. So
Meat and bits, cabbage, no one eats.
Okay, let's take a look and see how this is cooking down.
yeah. So right, yeah. So this is now getting pretty, pretty that, and I think it's going to be. Let's see.
Thank you for the love of Great British Bake Off.
From Gawoon, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yes.
it. It's a good show. You have good taste.
All right, so
You're
we're
also
gonna see
here, which means you have good
how-
taste. But
dente that is. It's
But
not
you're
bad.
special.
So my question is, there's a whole bunch of people watching. Tell me all the places you're watching from, because y'all don't know each other, and I bet you'd be interested to see how far across the country some of you live.
I heard someone say
It's
they
pretty
live,
spread out group.
live in the desert. I'm sorry, genuinely.
No, let them go. It's some of them like the desert. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, they said that they
Mom
was
says a
in
way.
Seattle.
My mom says a way to use
Yeah.
leftovers.
Okay, it's hilarious. I quieted it down as if like people are gonna actually start talking on the thing.
Right? Yeah.
But
no,
that's not gonna happen.
It didn't work out.
Through the
Yeah,
miracle
we
of
want to know
live
if you know
streaming.
the origin of bubble and squeak, but it's not a German thing, so I don't know. It was just a random question.
There goes my area.
You just know lots of things, so we
You're
thought you
very
might know.
continental.
It's not a French thing, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, so we have Pensacola, Florida, is where Todd Blanchard is.
All right.
Nice.
Respect.
Oh, and someone's weighing in about the bubble and squeak. Here we go.
Okay.
The origins of the cute name are not known, but there's a reference in the Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue from 1785. Wow.
Love
The
our viewers.
bubble and squeak is beef and cabbage fried together. It is so called from its bubbling up and squeaking while over the fire. If you've ever made it, it actually does bubble and squeak. It makes a
Weird.
noise in the pan. Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's pretty weird.
Yeah,
You
got
can't hear it because
The
we
cows
don't
are
want to do
dead,
that.
though, right? By the time they go.
So Donna
it's bacon,
Elise
so
Barrett
yeah.
is in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
She gets a thumbs up.
Arizona represents, I
Jennifer Seiler says she's about a block and a half from Chris and Heather.
Yes. Yeah.
Stop the timer.
We
You're in
have
for it.
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Catherine's
then,
out in Three Rivers, out in California, I think. That's the Peter Soddy.
If y'all want to get
Okay.
a look
Again,
at
there,
I say
actually.
y'all even though I'm a Seattle native because of this dude.
All right, so we're gonna get
Jessica's
the
in
cornbread
Ballard.
yeah.
Oh, the
so
cornbread
we're not trying to
smells
like
good.
saute and develop all the the browning and all that kind of stuff. Like we don't need that. I think what we'll we're just gonna put this in here, and this is kind of more about sort of stewed kind of thing. So we're gonna
still mix it.
I think Sebastian's gonna check on the
cornbread.
cornbread.
I'm gonna see if it's. I think it's probably done after these 5 minutes. To be
All right.
Yeah.
honest.
There goes that nice clean stove that I cleaned. Oops.
Don't worry, we clean.
Yeah.
We
So
promise. We
so
try.
yeah, the
Heather cleans.
it's really easy to overcook shrimp, and so that's why I was like trying to make sure that the stuff was pretty close to being
Lift the
al
lid up.
dente, or almost to the point that you want it done before I put the shrimp in, because I don't want to cook the shrimps too long.
Sorry, could you move the lid and lift it one more time just so we can see it? Because you were kind of covering it up.
Sorry,
there.
it just looks like raw shrimp in that stuff, so it's not cool yet.
You
but
can see it's already starting
Yeah.
to
Oh,
turn
and actually,
pink.
let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you pick it up one more time?
And you've got the flame down to, well, it's still down to
it's-
low. Okay.
Well, it was on low, but I just added a bunch of gunk, so we're gonna put some. We're
And
gonna
we're
kick it back up.
We're putting
just
the
a little
chives
bit
in
more.
time in now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would have had actually like the bottom of it. Usually, my little success thing here as I'm cooking it is I check every once and again and make sure there's still a little bit of like water at the bottom. There wasn't any, and so I probably would have put more. But then by adding shrimp, you're adding a ton of water because shrimp are
Do you
most
want to
of that.
mix it?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've got another
Yeah.
one in Florence, Arizona. There's a few people in Arizona. And then your
how cool
parents
they
are in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yes, they are.
Anyone watching
Yeah.
from California?
And yes, Dick, I agree with you that the Sonoran Desert is beautiful with a capital B.
Hey, I'm
So-
not.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
not trying to,
Heart
talk
and
bad
soul.
about the desert.
All right,
The
so
Sahara looks cool.
yeah, we'll.
You add water.
No, I'm gonna keep the heat up. Yeah, just a scoosh.
Hi. I'm holding.
No, I'm not. Like the
Never
shrimp.
mind.
Yeah, the shrimp are.
All right, now
Shrimp are like
Now to my domain.
85% water or something, and usually once shrimp, once you put them in and whatever, like they just immediately start gooping it out. So we're gonna feel confident
I
that.
feel like these are done, if not almost done.
Yeah, they look pretty good to me. Yeah, pull them out. That's fine. We totally always remember to turn off the oven in this house, so no one need to think anything else. Why don't you throw that on the rack over there?
And I'll pick up the...
Usually with
Hey, I didn't get a second-degree burn this time.
with quick breads, it kind of depends on the recipe you're using and such. But
Oh, that's all right.
oh yeah,
He's
right.
showcasing.
Yeah,
I will have to put this down soon.
this look is exactly what we were going for, which is, we call
That's
it
how cooking works.
Rustica.
a la rustic. Yes, o rustica. O rustique. When I was in school, when I did some coloring class stuff at one point, anytime we screwed something up, we'd be like, oh, it's o rustique. It's because it wasn't pretty or whatever. And then the chefs would still yell at us anyway. But but this really is kind of what you're looking for because it's kind of
It's meant to. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's weird if it looks like cookie cutter.
it's a freaking corn muffin. Any muffin, it's okay that things are a little lumpy.
So I don't know how long we're gonna let those cool for, but they'll cool.
Yes. Yeah. So I forgot what I was talking about. So it couldn't have been that important.
So how about some comments and questions? So
Let's do that. Yes.
So Yun wants to know why Sebastian's hair isn't blue.
Oh, so for people that don't know, I keep dyeing my hair. And it was blue for a while, and then I just before this whole thing happened got it bleached and trimmed because I don't get to have my hair cut for a while.
Blue-haired Sebastian is so 18.
Blue-haired Sebastian is so literally a year ago. I kind of just am keeping it bleached for now. I like dyeing my hair because I'm a rebel teen. All right, I'm a cool kid. I'm wearing glasses and an apron, so I've kind of...
Yes, yeah, when I was his age, everybody put lemon juice and hydrogen peroxide and crap from under the counter in their hair. But
and now we get
there's
professional stuff under the counter.
Yeah, now they actually go to places to get things
Are there
done.
any other questions? Thank you, Yum.
So Gawoon says Rustic is hip now, all about big communal dining and little rugged.
Yes.
Something.
Yes,
Well,
except not
I can't
exactly
read
at this
that.
time with the big communal
we're
dining.
actually hip to the jive, if you didn't know. So
Yes.
we're hopping on.
Yes. No, it's true. That's right. I mean, the concrete floors and the exposed everything in the ceiling stuff is all also.
Yeah, asbestos is the new look.
The Metro Rustique. Anyway, yes. So we've got all right. So these guys are out.
Yeah, I set a timer for 15 minutes too.
So most recipes, unless they tell you otherwise, they're assuming that, if you cook something in a loaf pan or muffin tin or something, they kind of assume you're going to leave it in there for some time. Because it helps on the carryover cooking a little bit, So this still has a lot of heat in it. It keeps driving a little bit, remaining heat and everything else. So it's.
So even though the texture is a little not exactly where we want it.
Yeah. No, it's freaking perfect.
So explain carryover cooking a little bit.
Right.
Heat.
Yeah. So a food is a thing, and so when you when you stick it on something that's hot and it starts driving food in because it's touching it. Or if you're putting it in, a place that has a lot of hot air circulating around, so heat's coming in off of that.
Works.
It heats the outside, and then there's all these little directional things where heat is moving towards the inside of the product. So you usually want to pull it. No, it's fine. Right before a little bit before it's done, and then let carryover cooking kind of finish it. Because if you pull it right when it's done, then it ends up being too dry at the end because it ends up heating more than you'd like. So whether it's a steak on the grill or a roast in the oven or whatever,
an amazing
cornbread
muffin,
an amazing cornbread
Perfect.
muffin. We usually do that pull it out just a little bit thing. All right, so the shrimps are so they're kind of not totally pink and happy yet. There's some of them that are. Yeah, but we still have some, so we're going to move them around a little bit. Yeah, so see, there's a little bit of. It's okay if there's not a ton of water, but if there's any water at all, that water is evaporating and then causing some heat transfer, which is good because it keeps the stuff from getting too hot and burning in the pan.
Hold the lid out of the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, I don't care if they see it. I'm trying to look and see if it's cooked yet. But you're right. Sorry.
I care if we see it.
Sorry, that being the whole point and all.
Welcome to the audience.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sorry, Dad's an old, and so that's just how he does.
Thank you, Jessica Holden. My hair is cool.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate it.
No, he does have the coolest hair around.
I'm glad that we're meeting your expectations with the Chris and Sebastian show.
We're all so at work. It's funny because everybody's showing. It's like their their
Quarantine cut.
Yeah, their quarantine coif or whatever, right?
Ooh, that's
got
good.
all the hair, and I think I started wearing hats last week because I'm done because everything's all.
I've worn a pink cowboy hat to one of my Zoom meetings already.
Yeah, he like. Last week or something, he's like, "Dad, your head's always big now. So your hair, your hair's always big now." We're gonna just, well, as directed, we're gonna like.
Yeah, the director's telling you stand closer so you both fit in the front. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. See, your chance.
Welcome to our boy band music video.
There's a filter there.
Welcome to our boy band music video.
Right.
I'm going
to
do.
We're gonna like, I would love to just be like, see, they're completely perfect and go away. But, and then find out if they were too dry or not or whatever. But we're going to just see.
We're going to try it right now.
If, we're just going to open one and check it out.
So,
you not want to do this?
No, that's fine. You keep coming closer and closer to the camera, which makes it hard to
so they can
get you
see
in the
the
frame.
tendrils of steam escaping it all beautifully. Yeah, so that's great. That texture is awesome. And, it's not like... See the carryover cooking? It's still happening, right? There's still all that heat in there, but that's fine. Like, this is going to be outstanding. We nailed it. So
you can hear the bubble.
Stick it back here.
Oh, I don't get to eat it.
And we will. Well, we will, as usual, for the one time we've done this, put recipes for things in a thing so that y'all can grab them and stuff.
What's up?
Sebastian from John Hendo. He wants to know, you always bring out cool games to play when people are at the house. What games are you into playing now? I think he remembers the haunted house on the hill or whatever it was.
So, Betrayal at House on the Hill, I think is really cool, even if it takes so long to set up and explain, and it always ends in tears. I really like it a lot. I think it's a good game. For like specific family meetings, Cards Against Humanity goes over well, but it's not really specifically interesting because everybody knows it. Trying to think of what else. What's that? That game with the buzzer that we like?
Oh, Taboo.
Taboo's
That's an old one.
Taboo's an old one, but a good one. I quite enjoy.
Yeah. So last night we figured out how to play like social distancing. Cards Against Humanity. Like
we played it with the Lucases.
Yeah, there's a family that we're friends with that. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and name them so that CPS can pick them up too for playing, Cards Against Humanity with their children. So like, we sat on each side of a Zoom meeting and like had the thing of tinfoil and like when it was. Whoever the judge was or whatever, the other people would put their little things in the rack so that they could read the hints the nominations of the things and then they would pick it.
It went pretty smoothly. Like it was pretty enjoyable. Like
there
were parts where like, all right, your camera's too far. All right, the back, no, to the left. Wait, come on.
Yeah.
But like that's to be expected.
Yes.
All of the time, even in real life, because my eyes don't work. But
totally. We're hoping there's no speech to text parsing and some AI going like, what the hell are these people discussing on the Zoom call that that has been done.
But Zoom's like, can we please hack these people?
Yeah.
Can we?
Oh hey, come look because.
All right.
So I knocked the heat off just to, and then this was like pretty dry. A minute ago when I last looked, and now see all the water gathering in. So like this is because the shrimp, as they cook, proteins generally, right? There's all this water and things and the protein goop, and then as they cook, they kind of crunk up, and then that squeezes the water out, which is why things, if you throw a big thing in the pan, water starts coming out of it. If your pan's hot enough, the water escapes and you can brown it, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make it kind of all good like this. So.
I'm going to respond to a couple comments. Plague is also really good, but it seems much too topical nowadays. So,
Pandemic?
Pandemic. There's also Plague. There's Plague Inc. There's a lot of them.
All right.
I was going to say another thing. I appreciate Solitaire. It's a good game to play right now, especially if you're self-isolated away from other people. And
boy, that's real social distancing.
Yeah,
playing solitaire alone on your phone while you're alone.
And I saw someone said you can play Cards Against Humanity online, like virtually. That takes out all the fun of messing up doing it over Zoom. So that takes out all the hilarity that ensued with like none of our mics working for like a solid minute, and then them working too well and being very loud.
Actually, the very first thing I did, I was like, "Oh, we can make a web app," and it's like, no, how about
because he's such a
how
developer.
about we get the tinfoil thing and then
So, all
He's
right.
like, I'm gonna make an app, and I'm like, how about this? No.
At this point, we're just taunting all these people because, like, I'm drinking. Here's the food, and they're just sitting there. So,
and I'm funny. So.
We're gonna let everybody go, like, cook or eat or whatever other thing that you would like to do. Because, I think, we could, like, make a show of tasting this and being like, oh, it's good, but it's gonna be awesome.
You know it's good.
So, So, thanks everybody for coming by, and we will.
Do we have any last questions before we go?
See, he's got experience with this. He's our streaming expert here.
I've streamed a couple times before.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing coming up. It looks like we're...
All right.
Yes, they're
like
just
we're
leaving
wrapping
one
it
by
up.
one, so...
All right.
Yes.
Well,
All right.
thanks for watching, everybody. It was really nice to visit, even, remotely with y'all again. So.
Thank you. Yes, I miss cooking with friends, so, like, this is...
And I'm only okay, so...
The one-way version of that, and, we'll figure something else. And, yes, post all the cool stuff that you're making there, and...
we will drop the recipes. Don't worry.
All right.
All right. Thanks all.
We have to
Bye-bye.
make more recipes. Yes.
Bye-bye.